like Michelle Pfeiffer was just looking at a child like, I want to strangle you, you teenager. And but they never mentioned like what happened to her dad and stuff. So I've always liked the idea that, yeah, he's got something somewhere to do with it, which is why I would have loved this, like, to have a sequel. But yeah, honestly, my personal, like, real honest opinion about this is I would have loved if they rather did like a TV series with this movie, because I think, yeah, it's difficult to have all these relationships really, like, you know, play out in depth on screen in like a movie that can't be over 2 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, Roger, Elizabeth's brother, like played by Johnny Lee Miller. Jeez, what, like, was he actually really necessary in the movie? He was just like another deadbeat dad. Like,
Yeah.
I get that that was kind of a theme. It was like all these women making do because the men, you know, weren't that reliable and either left or like, you know, I think Angelique felt Barnabas wasn't reliable, and that's why she buried him for 196 years. But yeah, like I did feel like I mean Willie Loomis, like played by Jackie Earle Haley. Willie, like I so love that guy.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
I mean, he had more freaking screen time than Johnny Lee Miller did, you know, like that his character did. So I do think that this could be such a lacquer, great TV series. I think it has it's really got that written on it, which, I mean, the original was. It was a soap opera show thing. And that's also the thing, like Burton said, you know, because he was asked, what about a sequel? Because there were rumors, and he was like, no. The whole structure was supposed to be like soap opera, and like that's the structure, and it's done. No sequel. And I was like, dude, let the people make a sequel, or like, you know, or do something different, because there's still so much to explore, not only with these characters, but just with this whole interesting mystical world. Yeah, I just love that, the spectacle and the mystical of it all.
I guess you're right about Johnny Lee Miller, because I guess maybe they wanted to appease TV fans, but his character was not needed at all. No. And then you have the doctor. I mean, you gotta have her in there. I mean, like, you can't he really couldn't make a movie without Helena Bonham Carter in there, because she's great. But I liked her. You can't get rid of her with the blood transfusions, because they did that in the show. I guess she turned Barnabas into a human one time with blood transfusions. She didn't turn herself into a vampire, which I thought was interesting. But no, I guess you gotta have her. I like their interactions. This sounds weird, but did you... Obviously, Depp is pulling a bit in this movie, but he felt he was bitten big time. Everyone else felt quite natural. Like, did you buy Barnabas? Did you like Depp's performance?
Parts of it. I think like his line delivery is great. The man knows how to deliver a line, you know? That's like why he's been in so many things. Yeah, like I was actually talking to Corey about it, and I was like, okay, well, if Depp was such a big problem for people in this movie, then who would you replace him with? Like, let's do the recasting, Mark. Like, who else would you think? Because here's the thing, everyone was way more natural. I mean, even Eva, that is such a great character actress and does play like her character over the top in this. Even she did feel like, in a way, maybe because we're used to her doing that, I don't know, but I mean, we're used to Johnny also doing character work, so I don't, but I totally get what everyone is saying about it. And like, I did feel at times he was a bit flat almost. I think some of his scenes could have been cut, honestly, and maybe given more screen time to some of the other characters. But yeah, who would you cast if you can recast Barnabas Collins?
Timothy Olyphant, would he be good? What do you think? Walton Goggins?
Maybe.
You can't have them anchor $150 million. This movie would drop to a $30 million budget if Timothy Olyphant was in it. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So are we keeping the $150 million budget?
Yeah. Like, let's say yes, because Burton can get that kind of budget. So
Robert Downey Jr., Nick Cage.
Robert Downey Jr. could actually I could see that, maybe. Like,
I just like Nick Cage as a vampire. I'm a vampire! Oh, yeah. Okay. So who could anchor, if this is $150 million, I'm sort of looking at the time of who could anchor this movie. Matt Damon, no. Colin Farrell. No. Yeah, Colin Farrell? He was a good vampire. In Fright Night, could he do that?
Maybe.
Because he teamed up with Burton later on. Let's see. Who else is there? Liam Neeson?
Nah. Veto.
Ryan Gosling?
Veto.
Daniel Craig?
I also thought about him, but no.
Chris Evans?
No.
Paul Bettany?
Oh, wow. I'm just going to say no to everything. Yeah. Now we're on to something.
He'd be good. And he was, at this time, he was starring in Priest and Legion, so he was sort of a hot commodity.
In A Knight's Tale, he was great with the whole Shakespearean vibe. So, yeah. Paul Bettany.
Okay.
Oh, and yes, all the girls would want him. And, yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah.
Paul Bettany. Nice one, Mark. Nice.
I'm going to give you a few more. Vin Diesel. Wait, what about Robert Pattinson? He would not want to play a vampire, so never mind.
I thought about Robert, but that's the thing. Like, he's been a vamp, and I don't know, he's way too serious. Like, you need someone that's got the quirk, because Barnabas has a quirk. Like, he's funny. He needs to be funny, like, so yeah.
But not knowing he's funny. I think Bettany would be good.
Bettany, definitely. No, that's a good one.
James Marsden? Wait, what about Skarsgård? True Blood?
Too serious.
Jason Bateman, Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds. Imagine. I think Ryan Reynolds could have done a good Roger Collins. Like, I don't want to diss on Johnny because Johnny Lee Miller, because again,
well, it's not his fault, right? It's not his fault.
I think, he didn't say, "Ooh, I only want to be in 4 scenes."
Yeah, and then leave abruptly.
But I think Ryan could have done a fun Roger, like a bit more of the sneakiness, because I didn't feel enough of the sneakiness. It was like 3/4 into the movie, and we really only started seeing Roger Collins being all, because at the beginning he was just like broody and like he doesn't want to be there. That's like nothing though. That's what they all looked and felt like. I mean, I felt Chloe had more of a distinct take on the family, the family conflict than her uncle, Roger. So, yeah. The girls slayed in this. The girls were great.
I'm going to give you 3 more options. Tom Hardy.
Veto.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
No.
Ewan McGregor.
Matthew McConaughey maybe as Willie Loomis, although I wouldn't actually, Jackie Earle Haley is amazing.
Ed Norton.
But no, I think our dear time's over. I think I did.
I nailed it.
I don't think we're going to get someone better than Paul Bettany, honestly. Like,
I think that's a good choice right there, Paul Bettany. That's a good one. And
I think so.
And listen, I guess I'm not hating on Depp here. I just after reading so much about this movie, it's unfair though, but the Depp fatigue in 2012 was real. Just reading the comments about this, and but his run though, I was just looking at this earlier. So in 2010, he had The Tourist. That movie made money, and then he did Rango. That was huge. And then he did Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. That movie made over $1 billion. It was huge. And he also produced Hugo. Wow. And he also, Alice in Wonderland was 2010 too. Jeez Louise. This guy was just cashing checks. So Alice in Wonderland, The Tourist, then he had Rum Diary, that wasn't that big. But then he did produced Hugo, Rango, Pirates, and then he popped into Dark Shadows. So I guess it was probably Tourist that came out. Remember, it got a Golden Globe nomination and everyone was making fun of it. I think that sort of maybe opened the door for the hate. And then Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, which I think that's I remember watching it and going, I'm never going to watch this movie again. And then people maybe were annoyed by that. And then Dark Shadows came out. And I think and then Lone Ranger suffered even further after Dark Shadows. So yeah, it seems like there was a fatigue, I think, that hit, which hurt this movie, which is sad.
It is. There was a fatigue, and there was also I remember the argument that Johnny's just playing like a pseudo drunk in every movie. Like his characters are always looking like they're drunk. And that was like irritating people. And I get what they were saying. But yeah, I felt like in certain movies that just worked. So like, I don't know what to tell you. I do get that. Like Johnny was just everywhere, and him and Burton just doing all the things. And I think, Burton rather casted someone like, or cast someone like Paul Bettany in this movie, I think it would have gotten people more excited because, ooh, a fresh face? What? Like,
yeah.
So yeah. And that, like I say, that annoys me because I think the movie didn't get a lot of love specifically because of people just eye rolling at Johnny all the time. But then while you're eye rolling at him, you're missing everyone else, like doing great, giving great performances.
One thing I did like was just they stuck to the fact that Barnabas is a murderer. He wipes out those people who are at the construction site, and then he kills all the, for lack of a better word, hippies. He wipes them out, and it's just unapologetic about it. Just a murderer. But then I guess he uses a line saying, "You did this to me. You put this thirst in me." But I did think that was a nice, nasty twist of storytelling. That he just murders the hippies. That made me happy. Because, I mean, I don't know. Did you see that coming? Did you think he was going to murder those hippies?
No, I actually didn't. I also didn't see him murdering Dr. Julia Hoffman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, till the end. And you know what? And he like, got around with the women as well. It was like, he's, like, madly in love with Victoria, supposedly. But he's getting it down with Dr. Julia. Yeah. He's having a gravity-defying romp with Angelique. Like, this guy, like, he's not a good guy. No. And I mean, that's the movie. It's Dark Shadows. It's like, this is not good, like, people, and like everyone has their dark secrets. And I mean, that's also fun. I like the little twist on it. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we're just watching this kind of, yeah, he's kind of a scuzz bucket. When we first meet him, we don't like him right off the bat, and then he murders a bunch of people. Interesting.
Exactly.
Would you put your macrame where Michelle Pfeiffer's character, where Elizabeth Collins? Would you do that?
I mean, the real question is, would I have macrame, Mark?
Would you put your rackets in a secret hideaway?
I do like how they put their, like, kitsch doesn't really work with the decor really stuff. They just, like, hide it in secret rooms where no one can see them. So the decor looks like all goth and old and antique. But then you've got this secret room with these bright, colorful macrame or these tennis rackets or whatever rackets they are. Like, oh gosh. Yeah, that's cute. Like, and that's also the thing. I think if this was like, I think you can do such a series with the show, because you can explore that house more as well. I know, like, in the original TV show, there's someone living in, like, an attic room, like, hidden there as well. And I think you can do a lot of neat things with it and keep it fun, because that's what I liked about the movie. It was fun. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, it wasn't taking itself seriously.
No, not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
And that leads I keep going back to this. I'm sorry, but it keeps going. Like, it feels like a hangout picture, because it's just a series of moments between people, and then you get to the end. But it's just you just kind of put it on. It's one of those movies you could just, if it's on, you just put it on, because there's really no emotional investment to anybody in here. Sorry if you had but there's none of that. It's just sort of
it's great.
Cheeky performances, beautiful costuming. I mean, I remember Eva Green's red dress. They put so much of the marketing on that, and she's not even in it much in that. But I mean, Colleen Atwood, she crushed it. I mean, it just looks, it's a good hangout picture, because there's a story, but it's very, very loose. There's a love story. Loose. Yeah. Yeah.
It's more like, you know, if you think story and you think mythology, it's way more that. It's so loose that it's more like, so here's some mythology happening and here's some characters and they're in this world, and we're not going to tell you what and all the details and stuff. We'll give you something, but, you know, it's just, here they are, and this is like a little thing that happened, and it's so loose and so like open to so much. And yeah, like you said, I love the fact that you just don't feel anything. Sometimes you just want to watch a movie and like the only thing you want to feel is just delighted by the fun, you know, because that's the only thing I feel when I watch it. I'm just delighted. I laugh still at all the jokes. I sing along with all the amazing songs.
Yeah, the soundtrack's legit.
Oh, I love the soundtrack. Love it.
The Carpenters. She's a Carpenter chick. Oh, I know how to build stuff.
You're weird.
Yeah, you're really weird. Just the malice on her face. But I talk about that with movies. So, A Knight's Tale. Their guy that they're with dies. He just takes on the helmet. They conveniently find a great forger that can go with them everywhere. Then eventually he gets found out. He's in trouble for about 3 seconds. Then he comes back. The king's like, yo, you're in.